Okay, let's start. So this is the part 2 of my talk on logistics. Yesterday we talked about everything inside the warehouse. If you missed that talk, it will not affect any understanding of what we will do today. So today now we will talk about how we control the work in the warehouse, and then secondly we will talk about how we ship the goods. So I will be very quick on this introduction, just to remind you that what we are doing in optimized logistics is always integrated in ERP. ERP touch a lot of application. This is just a reminder who I am. So I'm an architect and at the source of the design of many modules and the logistics stack that you can find in different repositories, especially the WMS repository.
Can you speak a little bit louder?
Yes. Okay. I'll try my best. Yeah, behind the solution there are now multiple stakeholders, people contributing. They are not all there, and it's important to thank them. And I'm really happy to see that there are more and more companies joining on this stack. It proves to be the right solution, and it's also, I think, now one of the most one of the most stable and also solution that we reach in the OCA. Complex solution. That's why there is some stuff to talk about. In this first part, we will talk about the release channel and the virtual reservation. First thing, most important, is that we need to have the control in the logistics, and for that we need to have a split between the sales and the logistics. So one of the main issues you have in Odoo is that when you confirm your sales, it's creating your delivery, and then you have the pull rule, creating all the steps in the logistics. And this happens as soon as you click the confirm button in the sales. This is not acceptable because then it's the sales that have the control on what's happening or what is planned in the logistics. And the major need is to cut this link between the two. And we solve this by just creating the delivery from the sales. So the sales plan what we need to deliver to the customer. And then we stop there. We don't continue with the pull rules. This is controlled by the logistics. And then that's where you will start to get the control and decide what and when you will release the work in the logistics. Second thing, also important, in Odoo, when you generate the operation in the warehouse, so all the picking operation, you create picking for exactly what you have put in your sale order. And if you don't have the goods, you still have a pick that is planned, and you will not be able to do it. Or if you have partially the goods, you will make the consumption of what is available, and then you will have a back order in your warehouse. And this back order will stay there until you have the goods available. And it's kind of useless because at the end you don't need to plan something that is not achievable. What you need to plan is to deliver the goods, but not to pick something that you cannot pick. And also what we want to achieve by this separation is that we want to we want the warehouse to live, and the goods can move in the warehouse, the goods can come inside the warehouse, they can leave the warehouse, and we don't want to make any reservation on this. It's only when I want to pick the goods that I will make my real reservation. I don't need to make any reservation before. So if I know I will pick the goods in, let's say, I will give 3 hours for the worker to achieve the work, I don't need to make any reservation before, and then the warehouse can move and leave And especially if you have a small space in the warehouse, you will need to make replenishment, and you cannot replenish for everything that you sold. You only need to replenish for what you want to prepare now. So this is the essence of this concept of being able to release the work in the warehouse. So behind the scene, there is some virtual reservation. So we still need to know who can get what. And the rule is that the first that order is the first that is served. So if I order 10 pieces and there is 10 pieces in my stock, I will get those. And the second person ordering them will get what is remaining in the stock. For this, we compute on each move what we can promise to the move. And this is based on what you have in the warehouse and what you promised before, so all order before. So we have a priority date, which is typically the order confirmation, but this is something you could control differently. And based on that, you just do a simple computation. What do I have? What I promised before to the previous orders? What can I now promise to my new order? There was a presentation yesterday from Forge Flow that presented for who were attending that, the reservation area, which is covering more or less exactly the same need. And we discussed yesterday with Jordi how we can combine those stuff. I think here what is interesting is the way we compute that live instead of writing reservation, because I'm not sure it will be completely scalable by always writing reservation, but we decided to work together to join a bit the two aspects, especially that this was mainly designed for shipping goods, and Jordi is mainly working on manufacturing, and he has also some different constraint and approach. But we will tend to, I think, get everything in this solution at the end. So, last year when we presented this concept of a virtual reservation, there was a question from the audience on, okay, you have plenty of deliveries, now how do you control that? And this is the subject of this talk, is about having the control on all the work I need to perform in the warehouse. And we said last year that we had a proof of concept we did for one customer, and then it proved to be very interesting for different customers. And now it's in the OCA since nearly a year. And we have also different integrators that are using that. So it's really interesting to see that it's proving to be a right solution and solving interesting use cases. What we see here, it's the dashboard that the manager in the warehouse will have. And so each time we have a sale order that is confirmed, we generate a delivery. And the delivery, based on some condition, will be classified in one of the cards. And we will see later how our manage the criteria to put the deliveries in the cards. But what we provide here is a control center to decide what you will release in the warehouse. And in this case, we organized different cards based on different parts of the warehouse. So it's first based also on transporter. So you don't work the same way if you have to prepare colis for the post, or if you have to prepare stuff for transporter. But also it depends. Like, if you remember, we had this high bay, we had sometimes vertical lift if you work in vertical warehouse, or you have the shelving. So all this work needs to be organized, and what we want to provide is it's enough work for the people in the warehouse, not too much, and we also want to control who is working on what and what is important. So if, for example, the truck for the delivery is coming at 3 p.m., I don't need to work maybe on those delivery after 3 p.m. and then be better concentrate on another truck for another company, and then you can this way distribute the work in the warehouse. So this is really your dashboard to pilot what you want to release. So what we see here, you will have all the operation into release. This is increasing based on what is being confirmed on the sales part. And then you can release the goods. This will increase the to-do operation, which is representing what you have to achieve in the warehouse. You here have some progress, and you can see here where you stand with what you have released. And we have a different way to define what is the time you give to the people. So as I distribute the work, I want to give a time frame. So you could say, for example, you have 3 hours to do the work, but you could also have some constraint based on a truck that is leaving at some time, and you have to do the work for maybe a bit of time before the truck is leaving, just to have the time to load it. And this is the constraint that you will give to the people. And the advantage of this is that now the schedule date of all the operation in the warehouse are not based on the sales. It's based on you defining what are the plans for the warehouse workers. This is another example on another different project. Basically, it's the same principle. We also integrated here some information about the weight, because it's also interesting to know what is the load that you're preparing. If you are managing some trucks, at some point you need to limit also the work. It's useless to pick way more than the truck that can transport. And you can also see that we have different icons here. We have a box here, we have cogwheels. In fact, we have different ways to distribute the work, and this can be either as a batch, so you define how much you want to release, and you do that manually, or you have an automatic mode, and everything coming is released automatically. This is a third case we had where the company had to load their own fleet of trucks. So they have many trucks, and now instead of thinking more about how you work in the warehouse, you think more about how you will load your different trucks. And for this, it's exactly the same principle here. The display has been a bit changed to visualize how it's progressing in the warehouse. Basically, we have different areas in the country. Each truck is covering the area of the country, and each truck has a different time where it's leaving. So we have a planning of all all the trucks. And of course, we want to prepare one truck after each other. So again, what is important is that you deliver the work in the warehouse for the first truck. Everybody is working, preparing the goods. You load the truck, and when you load the first truck, people are working on the second truck. It's very efficient. Everything is organized in the warehouse, and they have here different zones, and you can see the progress on the different zone. And we played with some colors to see what is blocking, like some replenishment waiting, or in green you can see here, this is being processed at the moment. That's just some fancy stuff that has been added to visualize what's going on. So now we see we have the possibility to create cards, we have the possibility to organize the work, and we still need to define which delivery is going in which cart. And for that, we have some criteria, and the criteria are, I can show you maybe an example. Maybe I need to zoom in. Oh, I think it's okay. So this is one of my release channels. and my channel has some criteria. I can define a specific operation type. This is useful if you connect that to what we saw yesterday about organizing with the routing flow all the work in different operation type. So if you first do that, you could leverage this to classify the stuff properly. You can do that based on the transporter. So if you have different transporter, DPD, DHL, TNT, do not cite them, you can organize based on this also. And then you have the possibility to list partners. So if, for example, you have your own fleet of truck and you have a list of B2B partner that you want to always deliver, you could say this truck is for this list of partner. And this is fixed, and I don't want, the goods will land on this release channel. And then if you want to do anything more complicated, you can write your own domain or even write Python code to give any criteria you want, or extend the module. The release channel have also a life cycle. So first, they are kind of sleeping. Typically, if you're managing trucks, the trucks are maybe not coming every day. Some region, like for example here, I define 3 regions, South, Brussels, and Liège. South, I define that this is correct only on Monday and Thursday, while the other are covered on every day. So this is now the part where you need to define what is the plan of your day. So either you have a plan that is not bound to specific days, it's just there to control the work in the warehouse, but if you manage truck, sometimes you want to manage what is the work of the day. You start your day with nothing, you create your plan. You could have different plans, maybe plan for the morning, one for the afternoon. If you have big country and you have different region, maybe you have plan per region. And you do that with preparation plan. So you create a preparation plan, and inside the preparation plan, you list what you have, which channel you have in the plan. So you can launch the plan. I will launch for today. It's good. And then I started with an empty screen. Now I have my 2 cards coming from my plant, and I see here I have one for Brussels, one for Liège. I don't have any sale order, so I don't have anything, but if I create sale order, they will just land there. And we have some information. So, for example, here we define that the truck is leaving at 11:30. This one is at 1 p.m. And we can also define some information about the life cycle. So, what I was talking here about my life cycle is that you have a way to control if you give automatically the work to the people in the warehouse or not. So either you work by batch and you do that manually, but if you have a lot of work and you know exactly how you want to pilot the warehouse, then you can automate a little bit. And then with the different states, if it's locked, all the sale order will end in the different cart. You will see the counter of 2 increase that will increase. And if it's open, everything is released automatically. So for example, if you take back this example, if I know that I want to prepare this, I will open it, and everything will be released, people will work, and then when it's done, I can close it, and I can do my delivery. So just a quick word on what is on its way. So we are improving also better support for multiple warehouse. We have done a project with that. It's on its way. It should be soon landing on the OCA. We have also some need to manage shops that are coming also with their warehouse. So to how to manage the fact that you could have a point of sales and also deliveries. One stuff that will also arrive, it's the possibility to deliver without all the truck loading. So, but this is probably more linked to what we will see after. Yeah, we saw that a lot of things are based also on the career, because it's the organization of the warehouse is mostly tied also to which career you want to prepare. And we also have something on its way regarding this about how to select the right career. So in Odoo, you can just put a career on the sell order, and you could do that on your e-commerce, but sometimes you don't know in advance which career, depending on which product you sell, on the size, on the weight, and different aspects, on the address. Some career don't go to some countries. And then we have done a nice career selection module that will also arrive. What we have in mind also in the roadmap, that's for short. The first part was very short term, the second part is more long term. We are thinking about defining some weight limit. So if you know that your truck can carry this amount of weight, at some point you don't want to release more work in the warehouse. And then we are confronted more and more with hub management. So the truck that you are loading are going to hubs and then delivering to different end customers. That was for the first half an hour. I think I'm perfect on time. Questions? 14, 16. Yes.
Do you completely replace the normal demand forecasting mechanisms that are based on stock movement?
The demand is coming from the sales?
Well, not usually. So usually the plus or minus quantities and stuff comes from stock or confirmed stock. So you replace it with sale orders, you're saying?
Sorry, Dave?
You replace that with sale order lines, basically?
Oh, so the
delivery is created. So you
the delivery is created. You don't
Okay,
that makes sense.
So those are the moves created from. Those are my delivery moves inside the delivery order.
Okay.
And here I have my demand coming from standard Odoo. That is just the move lines, the real move. And based on this, you know the demand, and you just compute.
So you don't create any stock moves out, or you're
No,
picking that
nothing. Okay.